Or here's Roger Stone.
People are even calling for like impeachment already and that sort of stuff. Do you think there's any chance that he might be impeached?
The people who are calling for impeachment are the people who didn't vote for him. They need to get over it. They lost. Their candidate had every advantage. She spent $2 billion. He spent $275 billion. Sorry, you whipped her ass. It's over. You lost. Try to impeach him. Just try it. You will have a spasm of violence in this country, an insurrection like you've never seen.
You think?
No question.
You think if he got impeached, like the country would
Both
go
sides are heavily armed, my friend. Yes, absolutely. This is not 1974. The people will not stand for impeachment. A politician who votes for it would be endangering their own life. There will be violence on both sides. I'll make this clear. I'm not advocating violence, but I'm predicting it.
You're predicting that if he got impeached, there'd be some sort of civil war type...
Yes, I do. That's what I think will happen.
Hell, that's what they've been pushing. And here's the thing. They want to train us, march out to face a bunch of toilet paper ANTIFA. If they're out killing people, they go kill cops? They go send folks to shoot members of Congress? They're killing cops and Congress people. What I'm just telling you, you don't go out and fight dirty meth heads who aren't even worth killing. You let the leadership of the coup know that's on TV saying they're going to kill the president, that, you know what? This is a two-way street, brother. And let them feel physics. Let them feel it. Let them know. Because once you let the dogs of war off the chain, they're going to find America's restraint hadn't been weakness, hadn't been cowardice. It's been guilt at what incredible killers we are. And how easy it is, how good we are at it. Your constituents can hardly walk. You have no idea. And I'm not trying to intimidate the enemy because they're totally turned over to evil. They're not going to listen. I just want the listeners to know if we go where they want to take us, let's give them what they came for in spades, in royal flush. Roger Stone, we stand at the precipice. The second Bolshevik revolution is upon us in October. There's no doubt they're launching operations. Does the president know? What can we do, Roger Stone?
Well, Alex, I must tell you, I got jostled on the street here in West Hollywood this morning. I guess this has become the way of the world. A citizen cannot even walk on the streets without being assaulted by hysterical leftists. It reflects everything that you have not only said, but what you have predicted now for months, that this conflagration was coming.
You remember election night. I'm not bragging. What did I tell you?
No, you said that you were a little downcast, not because we won, but because you foresaw the fact that the left would never accept the democratic election, would never accept the result.
I was preparing to die, Roger. I could see I could see where we're going, but we're going to win in the end. But no, I was preparing to die that night. You understand now?
Yes, indeed. I now see the big picture. I've never seen this kind of hysteria ever before on the political front, and they just keep ratcheting up. Their entire Russian gambit, which was designed to remove Trump, has failed, has fallen flat. Even this new email that was discovered in the email of Rick Dearborn.
Oh, my God, somebody in the transition team said sometime we're going to talk to Putin like you're going to talk to everybody. Do they go, oh, look, we caught him talking to the Japanese prime minister?
Yeah, it's not even that serious. When you run a presidential campaign, you get thousands and thousands of incoming messages from well-meaning people who have no judgment. Whoever the person in West Virginia was who said, oh, the campaign staff should meet with Vladimir Putin, I mean, that's not only improbable, impossible, and highly unlikely, it's absurd. And by the way, there's no evidence that any such meeting ever happened.
And how do we know the Democrats didn't send the email? It's not even a response. It's an email. They could send me an email saying I'm Captain Kangaroo and say, oh, look, Alex is talking to Captain Kangaroo.
Yeah, but you see, again, the media is all over it today. The way they were over the Donald Trump Jr. Meeting as if it was something. They're running out of straws. They switched, therefore, from Russia, because that failed, to the race card, and race baiting is a kind of a surefire issue for the left, going so far as to say anybody who voted for Donald Trump is a white supremacist. That's the most ridiculous thing I literally have ever heard. Absurd. Absolutely absurd.
But clearly, I think Russia and all of it is a smokescreen for race war. They're going with this narrative. They're activating their cells. It's confirmed. Where do you think this is going?
Well, when you have CNN and other news outlets excusing the violence of the left, saying because of the oppressive history of slavery, that it's perfectly all right for people.
Yeah, because some cops were bad, all cops deserve to be killed. Exactly. They're now calling for violence on CNN, Roger.
It's extraordinary. Then the other thing I find interesting is that CNN actually has a promo that keep playing that says, as the Trump presidency implodes, who said it's imploding? He's not going anywhere other than continuing to do the job.
Does CNN not know that their bosses are trying to entice loose cannon people to attack them? Don't attack, folks. Let them move. Let them attack us first. Let them do it. I mean, we're winning intellectually, but they're the ones getting ready for violence. Doesn't the CNN employees realize they're being sucked into a civil war?
Well, I think that they have sped up their timetable at CNN to call for anarchy because the handwriting's on the wall, and they know that Jeff Zucker will shortly be out, and that they will have new management that may not look as favorably on their revolutionary credo as the current management at CNN. That's why I think they have gone, 0 to 60 overnight.
Yeah, they're trying to, it's like cockroaches when you poison them, they all start having sex. I always heard this, and one time I sprayed a bunch of roaches I found behind the refrigerator, and they all started having sex immediately when I sprayed them. It's like they know they're all done for, they're losing, so now they're trying to move the revolution forward.
That makes perfect sense to me. I mean, the tone and the hysteria at CNN has now reached epic proportions. Watching Anderson Cooper's show the other night with Ed Martin.
Oh, it's just unreal. It's total foaming at the mouth.
5-on-1. I've never seen anything like it. By the way, I thought Martin handled himself pretty well under those circumstances. And I've seen him here on InfoWars many times. He's a solid, patriotic fellow. Take a lot of guts to go on 5-on-1.
Yeah, the guys wanted me to play that clip yesterday. It's very, very powerful. They all gang on. They're all, and CNN says, quote, all Trump supporters are white supremacists. That is so dangerous. That is so wild. There's nowhere for them to go next when they've already had Phil Mudd saying, kill the president, we're going to kill him. And he's a former deputy director of the CIA and FBI. I mean, why SWAT teams didn't take him for a kayaking trip the next morning? I mean, this is insane.
Yeah, well, again, Jeff Sessions has the power to move against the Obama NSA clique. Those are the people orchestrating this revolution, this insurgency, specifically John Brennan, Admiral Rogers, James Clapper. How do you like this? This fellow Clapper, who got caught lying twice in front of the Congress about the government's metadata program, only to be proven to be a liar by Edward Snowden, he's now running around saying Donald Trump is unfit. No, dude, you're the one who's unfit. You're the one who belongs in a federal penitentiary. What are you talking about? And, Mr. Clapper, what's with the shaved head thing? Why do you guys all have shaved heads? Is this some kind of secret club or what?
Well, let's expand on this. They're desperate. They're pathetic. But their constituents, everybody I know on their Uber bills, on power bills, on bank statements, there's KKK everywhere. Report Nazis. Attack them if you see them. The corporations are like, this is the revolution. All I'm telling you is they are now firing on all fronts, but it may just be a giant toddler event because none of them are willing to pull triggers like the Bolshevik Revolution. I mean, does this thing just fizzle or a few poor cops get shot in the back of the head or what happens?
Well, I think we shall see. Their problem, of course, is that they are seeing ghosts where none exist. I've been active on the American right for 40 years. I've never met any Klansmen. I've never actually seen any white supremacists. I don't know any neo-Nazis. I think this is a handful of nuts, a handful of kooks. The idea that they're everywhere, no, they're nowhere. Now, what there are, however, is crazy left-wing radicals from ANTIFA and Black Lives Matter. There are plenty of them. They're so gutless they have to wear masks. They won't even show their faces. What they don't.
That's because most of them, we've learned, their group got leaked. They're almost all school teachers.
Well, what I find interesting is the fact that they don't recognize the American right's long adherence to the Second Amendment and the vast number of patriots who own firearms and know how to use them. This is why they've been trying to get the guns away from patriots for so long. Again, I don't advocate violence. I renounce violence. I'm not condoning violence. I'm against violence. They like to twist your words. When you foresee what's happening, or what will happen, as I did on TMZ, well, then it was Stone calls for civil war. No, I called for nothing of the kind. Stone calls for violence. No, I never said that at all. Go listen to the whole interview. But they twist your words in an attempt to...
All I'm doing is warning these people, you want to come kill me and kill the president and piss all over George Washington, you're going to get a fight, dumbass.
Oh, George Washington freed his slaves, and he also made financial arrangements so they would all have an opportunity. He was a great man, father of our country. Now they want to tear down his portrait, tear down his statues. Ridiculous.
By the way, he was born into all that, and then reportedly most his wealth went to putting people into education and giving them money when he ended it. But it doesn't matter that the West ended slavery. They project the lie. I want to come back to Doug Hagman, get his take on this incredible breakdown of Roger Stone, and also look at other attacks. It was Roger Stone predicted the whole Alzheimer's thing, the whole early onset dementia. Now that's there. And also we had Posobiec and others breaking that they banned InfoWars at the White House in a desperate attempt to get the president away. That was confirmed yesterday. But going back to Doug Hagman about other points on this front, and then to Roger Stone. Doug Hagman.
Alex, thanks. And, you know, I was enjoying the conversation between you and Mr. Stone, and I thought, as I was listening to that, I recalled Mr. Stone talking about Donald Trump's execution by Robert Mueller, and, of course, how Donald Trump is being isolated. And I think everything that I spoke about with respect to the various fascist groups that are at the street level and above, kind of remember what Van Jones said, top down, bottom up. Bottom up, top down, whatever. And I think that's what we're seeing take place right now. So this Spencer movement, as you referred to it. But with respect to the top down, which Mr. Stone had mentioned about the execution by Mueller, I think that it's important for people to realize that Mueller, number one, is not qualified, of course, to be in that independent counsel position based on, I think it's 18 CFR 45.2 or one of those. The fact that he's got political and personal relationships with the principal, so he can't be a prosecutor and a witness at the same time. But of course, exceptions are made, and the grand jury, with respect. Let
me ask you this: it's a swamp grand jury that has no credibility. You've got 99.8% of the donations going to Democrats. You've got them ignoring all the stuff the Democrats did. You've got almost all their people being Democrats. You've got Comey caught lying to Congress. But notice they're kind of backing off the Russian narrative. What's your intel on that right now? Because now they've gone on I mean, it seems like they're kind of realizing even their fraud claims, Trump uses outside accounting firms and it's super clean. It seems like that's hitting a dead end.
Well, and that's interesting how that Russian narrative is seemingly dissolving, and I think what they're trying to do is breathe new life into that Russian narrative by attempting to flip Paul Manafort. Look, I don't have a good sense on that. However, I don't believe that's going to happen. I think that perhaps new life will be breathed into the Russian narrative, or at least that's what they want to have happen.
So let me bring him up and jump in any time. Roger used to be business partners with Paul Manafort, great patriot, worked with groups against Russia. You know, all these claims are asinine. But they are trying to flip Manafort on SWAT team raids on stuff you already gave him. Where is that going?
I think it's going precisely nowhere. I spoke to Paul roughly a week ago. He's very angry and continues to be defiant. The truth of it is they want him to bear false witness against the president. They want him to say, yes, I was colluding with the Russians, and yes, Donald Trump knew everything. And
so they want him to become Judas Iscariot.
They want him to become John Dean, and he's not going to do it. He's not going to lie. Therefore, they're trying to dredge up any pressure point on him they can find. The irony of this Nazi-like Gestapo raid on his home, where they kick in the door, then they kick in the door to the bedroom where he's sleeping with his wife to get documents that they had never requested formally and could have had easily. It's a charade. But Manafort is holding strong despite the extraordinary assault on his character, on his business, on his family, he remains 100% loyal to the president and to the administration.
And we're all in the same shooting range here. It's just like, because we're not just loyal to Trump, we're loyal to America, and we don't stand with the pedophile armies of Hillary Clinton.
Well, not only that, but Alex, I saw something extraordinary today. I just hung up with a Politico reporter. Gary Cohn, the president's chief economic advisor, a former alum of Goldman Sachs, liberal Democrat, recommended for his job by Jared Kushner, the president's son-in-law, is out publicly attacking the administration. Now,
I know, I saw that. What the hell?
I worked with the Reagan White House. I worked with the Bush White House. I've never seen anything like this in the 40 years I've been in American politics. If you work in the White House, you serve at the pleasure of the president. He's giving you...
Well, no kidding. If I hear one of my employees... Hold on, Roger. If I hear one of my employees on talking trash, they're fired. That's what... You don't do that.
Well, it's unprofessional as well as disloyal. If you've got a problem, then you come internally.
Plus, that's like a leak. That's a form of a leak.
Public laundry like this.
That's the form of a leak, though. They want to shut the patriots off to Trump that support him so they can run around and he doesn't know they're undermining him. What a little piece of crap. What do we do?
This guy should be fired so fast his head would spin. I mean, it's extraordinary to me that he's trying to feather his own nest here. He's joined the chorus of anti-Trump rhetoric when he's a White House insider, but he's been bestowed one of the greatest honors you could have in public service is to serve on the White House staff. But I guess the lesson of this story is when you go to bed with dogs, you wake up with fleas. Why would anybody in the Trump White House want to employ a liberal Democrat they call him Carbon Tax Gary, because that's what he did at Goldman. Why would you ever bring him in to the White House to begin with?
Because he's obviously against Trump. Trump killed that multi-$100 trillion deal they planned over the next few decades. Gary Cohn, Trump's advisor, said to have drafted a resignation letter after Charlottesville. Well, then let them leave. Good God, Trump's not a racist. I mean, just let this little leftist turd bag leave. God, we're sick of these parasites. Stay there, Roger Stone. Stay. We're in one hell of a fight. Roger Stone, closing comments.
Well, you called it, Alex. I must admit this has happened much faster than I thought it would. I thought that ultimately the left would settle down, particularly as Donald Trump moves the country towards prosperity. But instead, what we seem to have on our hands is a violent revolution, a violent overthrow of the constitutionally elected government, with half of the media defending it or promoting it. It is all my predictions on TMZ I stand by. You are going to have a bloody civil war. We're not advocating it. We don't condone it. We're not for it. But it's not. We are not the ones provoking it.
Yeah, that's right. We're not going to take it once they swing.
Why would we? I mean, I think we're the ones committed to a democratic or constitutional system.
And notice we're winning that way. We're winning. We're winning that way.
Be running from the IRS or worse, but we'd have accepted the results. They refuse to accept the people's mandate here. It's unlike anything I've seen in 40 years in politics.
Well, you know, I got contacted by some high-powered lawyers through my lawyers, and they said, yeah, they're going to indict a Hollywood person that promotes supplements to make it look like they're not going after you. And they even did it like a month later. Gwyneth Paltrow, Alex Jones sell supplements, arrest them. Now they've got the indictments in California to put her in jail for selling mainline supplements that everybody else does. So they go, oh, we got Paltrow. Like, we don't know. Don't they get, like, it's going to come out? They understand. This isn't like we're blind, like their poor average constituent they're selling crack to. We are awake. We are ready. We're going to win, Roger.
Well, I've just been told that some radical left-wing group has filed a complaint against me with the FBI, claiming that I have threatened members of Congress when I said that, in my opinion, no member of Congress who voted for impeachment would be safe. What I said that they would be taking their lives in their own hands. My lawyers will handle this, filing a false complaint with the FBI is, of course, a crime. But
it's Democrats on TV saying hashtag hunt Republicans when Scalise was shot. They're the ones cop killing. All we're saying is you little limp dicks want to fight. You're about to get one once you launch it.
This was posted by some dipshit named Scott Dworkin, calls himself @Thunder on Twitter. This is the kind of harassment that that patriots like you and I are forced to put up with.
All right, Roger, we're going to be doing live broadcasts throughout the weekend. Please join us for them with the hurricane, other events. But they are admittingly planning a overthrow of local government, killing all the cops. I mean, you can't make this up. We're living in a fantasy world, but they're crazy. We're going to win. Thank you, Roger Stone, StoneColdTruth.com. We'll talk to you soon.
Many thanks, Alex.
All right, let's